What is going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan here with my co-host Bryan, and today we'll be recapping the Dallas Cowboys versus the New Orleans Saints, where the Cowboys lost 26-20 in overtime on a 80-yard touchdown bomb to CJ Spiller out the backfield with the linebacker covering him. I have no idea what defense they were calling. This game was good and bad for the Cowboys. Mostly bad. It was a good back and forth game. The Saints are pretty much the trash team that we thought they were. Deserve to be 0-3. Bryan, what did you think about this loss for the Cowboys?
I'm pretty much embarrassed as a Cowboys fan because you said it perfectly. They are a trash team. Drew Brees is the only player on that team, in my opinion. If you saw it, that's it. That is actually the truth, not being biased. Just penalties. This game had nothing, in my opinion, to do with Brandon Wheaton. It had to do with the defense. Penalties, missed tackles. I just don't know. I'm speechless over this because this was definitely supposed to be a win.
Yeah, it was most definitely supposed to be a win, and you could tell because the Cowboys were actually doing good in the first half. I believe it was 10-10 at halftime. They got like a late field goal off a penalty, of course, by the Cowboys that put them in the field goal range. But Brandon Wheaton was actually playing very well. Of course, this was a very injury-riddled game. We lost Sean Lee to a concussion. Lance Dunbar had, it looks like, a horrific knee-jerk injury. No time telling when he's going to be back, and you know he was Brandon Wheaton's favorite target. So then he was getting the ball to Cole Beasley, who I believe had 6 catches. Jason Witten, and then Terrence Williams, who had a spark of brilliance in this game and had probably the most prettiest diving touchdown that I've seen this season yet. So kudos to Terrence Williams for actually getting off the coverage, even though, you know, the Saints corners have like the speed of an offensive lineman, and actually, you know, getting in the end zone and scoring the touchdown. So that's good for him. Yeah, exactly. Also, Joseph Randle scoring the touchdown. Now, he scored the touchdown, but it could have easily been a fumble because Jason Garrett has told him time and time again, when you get on the goal line, don't try to dive over and hold the ball up. Well, he dived over. I don't know what he did. Is like he dived and then he turned and then he like threw the ball with one hand. So I don't know. I don't know.
Played basketball or something because that was
or shot putting or something. I don't know. But thank God that he crossed the line before that. Because I don't know if he did, then I don't know if he would have saw the field for the rest of the game. Darren McFadden played. Yeah, exactly. Darren McFadden played well this game. My biggest issue with this game and with this team right now is the defense. We had a lot of missed opportunities on defense. We had 2 interceptions by Patman and I forget the rookie line, Gaspar. By those two. Gaskar, where they literally landed in their hands and they just dropped them. And funny enough,
embarrassing.
Yeah, very embarrassing for an NFL player. And funny enough, the Saints scored off of those drives that they would have had. They would have stopped them. So you talking about taking maybe a touchdown or even 6 points total off the board. But I don't know what it is with this defense, because I was excited when they scored with like a minute and something left. And then I was thinking, it's like they got Drew Brees in a minute and 44 seconds. And of course, they drove right down the field. And I guess yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like it's Drew Brees. Like, you know, you don't think he's just gonna Swiss cheese this defense and just go down the field to get a field goal range, which he did. Now, I was questioning why Garrett wasn't calling timeouts during this until they got into the red zone. But I guess. Yeah, you know, exactly. Give that defensive line a breather because they weren't giving no pressure on them whatsoever in that hurry up in the last minute and 44 seconds. But I guess I can't really be mad at him since they did miss the field goal to win the game.
Classic Saints moment.
Exactly. Because I believe their kicker got injured, so I think they had their punter actually kicking the field goal. So that's good for us. But
30-yard field goal.
But the way that the game ended in overtime, I would have much rather lost in the field goal than an 80-yard score to CJ Spiller. But what were your concerns of this game?
Oh man, he got a moment here to let me exhale. I got a few folks in my live my life that'll give me a hard time. But anyways, but my problems are Bo Claiborne, Brandon Carr, and Barry Church. What are y'all doing? I mean, I saw hands to the face penalties. It was just pass interference over and over. Actually, Brandon Carr nullified an interception that Barry Church had because of pass interference. It was just really a bad performance by the secondary. I'm just totally embarrassed by that because we know the Saints don't have the fastest wide receivers, and they were just holding them. I mean, Brandon Carr is the most overpaid player in the NFL. You cannot say he's not the most overpaid player. That $50 million is not being spent well by the Cowboys. Like I said, this game was totally on the defense. Rod Marinelli, I don't know if he just turned into Rob Ryan, because that's the way it felt in this game in the second half, because the Saints could do whatever they wanted to on offense, and it was going to be a penalty if they did get a first down. And that play by C.J. Spiller for 80 yards, I mean, I thought he was back at Clemson. That was just incredible breakdown on defense. And it's just an embarrassing performance. You just can't allow that, because you know the defense is going to be playing a lot better offense next week and a lot more tougher offense in the future. And they're going to have to get it together. I don't want to hear about injuries. I know they have injuries, but you look at certain teams out there that have injuries and they get it together. This team plays stiff. They just seem to take on the persona of their coach, because we know Jason Garrett's stiff. I don't want to hear about last year. I don't want to hear about Romo. I don't want to hear about Dez Bryant. They played an 0-3 team that is trash besides Drew Brees, and they just went out there and choked. Simple.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very embarrassing performance on their part. I really do feel like they should have got the win. I do feel like they were a better team even with all the injuries than the Saints, but I don't know if it was just defensive miscues, breakdowns, but they just could not stop Drew Brees when it mattered. They couldn't get no pressure on him. They were getting pressure on him in the first half, but the second half and in the overtime, I mean, I don't know what happened to the D-line. I don't know if the Saints, and even the Saints left tackle got injured, and he was injured. So I don't know if they weren't attacking him because he had like a limp leg. They were blitzing on that side or not, but I don't know. It was just, it was hard to watch. But then again, it also just makes me even more nervous about next week, because we got New England, you know, the powerhouse Patriots, as I like to call them, because they're just blowing everybody out. You know, no darns given. Just be like, okay, we're going to score 50 on you.
Off of a bye too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, and off of a bye. But luckily, I don't know how much this will help. If Sean Lee is out, we get Rolando McClain back, and then we also get to see the debut of Greg Hardy. I am interested to see how Greg Hardy's playing after coming off not playing last season because of all of his off-season troubles, and then finally being able to play in the NFL game for the first time since week 1 or week 2 of last year. Rolando McClain, like I said, I'm 50-50 on him. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to get the Rolando McClain from the first half of last year or the Rolando McClain from the last half of last year. If we get the first half from last year, then I'll be very excited, because that dude was just a monster.
Yeah.
Getting tackles, turnovers. The second half, he kind of got lax and took it off. But if Sean Lee's able to come back off the concussion and play with Rolando McClain, that'll help our defense immensely. But like I said, that secondary going up against Gronk, Edelman, Deion Lewis has been a good scat back coming out the backfield for him. LaFell, all the offensive firepower that the Patriots have. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they put 50 on us the way that our defense played this game. So that's got me really nervous.
If they do, it will happen.
Yeah, exactly. It will happen. But luckily after that, we got a bye week. So if we can somehow squeak out a win and come out 3-2, because now we're tied with the Redskins and the Giants. We're all 2-2 in the division. Luckily, we got wins over the Eagles and Giants. So at least we still have the division lead for the time being. But going forward, because I think, we got the Patriots. And then after that, I think we got the Packers somewhere in there. Those are going to be two tough games coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to get tougher for the Cowboys. Like I said, this was a must-win game, and they choked. And right now, I'm not feeling good because, again, Brandon Wheaton played well. No turnovers.
Yeah,
threw for over 240 yards. Cole Beasley was good. Terrence Williams, that was a great touchdown catch, but he didn't show up before that. He could not beat his, the DB that was guarding him, and that is. They're just going to have to really face it, that this is going to be tough. They're not going to be with Romo, because I don't know how many times during the game they had to show Romo and Dez Bryant. I got tired of it. That becomes a mentality of the team, is that we're no good without them. Mm-hmm. The Patriots won without Tom Brady when Matt Castle won 10 games in the past. So don't sit here and tell me it cannot be done without your starting quarterback. It's all about the mentality and no excuses. So, against the Patriots, they're going to need a miracle, because I don't know if you know the record of Bill Belichick coach teams off a bye. It's godly, and it is just going to be a real tough uphill climb from here, because without Lance Dunbar, who is their most dynamic player out of the backfield, I think it's going to be it's going to be a tough game. I don't know. Right now, this team doesn't seem to have many answers.
Yeah, not too many at all. And even the freshly activated Bryce Butler had a 67-yard pass, and then he injures his hamstring on that play. So that could have been a dynamic that we haven't had yet able to explore, and had a good thing going that game on that one catch. But we don't know how long he's going to be out for, if he's even be able to play next week, because he'll definitely help us stretch the field against that Patriots defense. But yeah, I'm very nervous about the next upcoming couple of games for the Cowboys. I can honestly see in the next 2 to 3 weeks the Cowboys coming out 2-5, maybe even 2-4.
Yes.
It's just going to be difficult, because they also, I believe, they got to play the Panthers as well. They're a 4-0 team. Their defense is playing amazing right now. Josh Norman has 4 interceptions in the first 4 games. I believe they forced 4 turnovers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe they got the Jets coming up later too. Granted, they're not the best team, but they're playing really good football right now. And that defense with Revis and Cromartie, and then you got the front 7, and that's just something you don't want to mess with right now.
No, you don't want that in your life.
So it'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys can handle this. Now, time-wise, I believe Dez is supposed to be back in 3 or 4 weeks, so about another 4 weeks. So hopefully when Dez comes back, he'll be 100%, or at least somewhere near 100%, because missing him on the field is hampering this offense a lot, because he demanded double teams. So that's why you would always see Terrence Williams get one-on-one coverage, or Jason Witten or Lance Dunbar coming out the backfield. But without that threat, they can just, man up everybody, have equal coverage on each side of the field, and they just try to dare you to test their secondary. So hopefully over this next stretch, a couple of games, the Cowboys can pull out a win or a miracle against the Patriots. But in all honesty, I probably don't see us winning another game in the next 2 to 3 weeks, even after the bye week.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, unfortunately. That is just the way it's looking, because this team looks unmotivated, and it looks like it's not being coached up, everything. It starts with the coaching. I don't know if you agree, but they look uptight. They just look uptight, and like you said, when you're dropping interceptions, that lets me know that you're mentally not in the game. Then they're just floating in the air, just willing to be taken, and you just don't catch them. So, I don't know. This team is in a lot of trouble, I believe, going forward. Because, like I said, again, I hate to say like a broken record, but when you keep talking about Tony Romo and Dez Bryant, and you don't talk about who's on the field, hey, you just wait for them to come back here. You're like, well, we're not good enough. Let's just go ahead and give a good effort. If we lose, well, we got excuses.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really dwell too much about what you don't have. You have to focus on what you do have. And like you said, I do feel like that maybe this team is focusing on, like, all right, maybe we could just try and buy time to when these two get back, instead of just coming out and playing like it's a normal game, like they're there. That's kind of hampering them right now. So, but like I said, I'm not too optimistic going into the future. But hey, look at the bright side. If the Cowboys don't win another game for the rest of the season, they can, when the draft comes around, they can draft Ezekiel Elliott or the LSU running back, and then try again next year.
I like the way you think. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the season. Actually, I've changed my whole thought process on the year. Yeah, let's take for Fournette.
Exactly, man. But yeah, so you got any closing statements before we get out of here, Bryan?
Yeah, I got a little a knowledge dart for Jason Garrett today. Could you please Google, do a sketch artist of Darren McFadden? He is a player who's averaging 5 yards a carry on your roster, and I would like you to give him the ball more than 5 times a game, if you could, please. Just please. You know, I've been praying for this. I know Mike has too. Well, we're willing to help you out. The Blitz is willing to help you out, Jason Garrett, you know, on getting Derek McFadden and finding out who he is, because we got to take baby steps, obviously, because, you know, that guy, he does things every time I see him. Every time. I mean, it's only one time or two times a game, but I just pray that Jason Garrett, you do give Derek McFadden a chance. And we're willing to help you find him and come to peace with him.
Very well put. Very well put. Well, I would like to thank you guys for watching this episode of The Blitz. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, be sure to check out our social media links down low in the description. I'm Mike, that's Bryan, and we will catch you guys in the next episode of The Blitz. Peace.